we're back, and so apparently is Freddy Krueger. Get ready for a lot more of Dick Cheney in the year ahead. The former vice president told the Wall Street Journal he wants the issues he cares about to be, quote, front and center in the 2016 presidential campaign. Issues like preparing to use military force against Iran, of course, shipping arms to allies in Eastern Europe, and sending larger number of troops back into his favorite country of opportunity, Iraq. Anyway, to steer the conversation, Cheney will release a new book in September. He's also founded a new group, of course, along with his daughter Liz, of course, quote, the Alliance for a Strong America. They all sound the same, don't they? In addition, according to the Wall Street Journal, he's been making semi-regular trips back to Washington. You get from the Eastern Shore, it's a drive away anyway, to address House Republicans. He's also advising several lucky 2016 Republican contenders and headlining Republican donor events. Is the Republican Party really willing to embrace Cheney and his worldview? I'm joined by tonight's roundtable. David Corn is Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones and an MSNBC political analyst. Jennice Fuentes is a Democratic strategist and former chief of staff to Congressman Luis Gutierrez, that's of Chicago. And Eugene Robinson is a columnist for the Washington Post and an MSNBC political analyst. Gene, why is he back? Because I think all the polls show he's poisoned.
You know, the silver steak didn't work. I don't know. I mean, he's back because he's Dick Cheney, and this is what he does, right? I mean, he believes he was right, and he believes he's always right, and he, you know, by golly, he's good.
Well, you know who agrees with him?
Now, this is to the inconvenience, I think, of the Republican Party.
Well, Reince Priebus is being stoical. He says they're embracing Cheney's influence right now. Anyway, that's what Reince Priebus, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, said. He told the Wall Street Journal, their favorite organ, quote, the party's very fortunate to have an active and engaged Dick Cheney for this upcoming political cycle. He's a top fundraising draw in high demand. Anyway, meanwhile, Holly Shulman, a rather witty spokesperson for the Democratic National Committee, says, quote, there's no one happier about Dick Cheney becoming a foreign policy surrogate than we are. If he needs any assistance getting out his message, our team would be happy to help book him for interviews. So that's sarcasm.
Well, I think that people who lead us into the worst foreign policy decisions we've ever taken have no business advising anyone on anything. It would be just like if the captain of the Titanic was writing a book about how to avoid icebergs. I don't want to read that. You know what I want to read from Dick Cheney?
Goodbye.
A very long apology. No, I want to read a 17-page
We're going to get to a minute,
apology.
because we had Mike Morrell in here, who was the chief CIA briefer for the W administration and Cheney during the whole run-up to the war of Iraq. And he came on and said, we never once, ever said they had nuclear weapons. But where's Cheney, by the way? Let's take a look at him and then look at Cheney. Let's look at both right now. We'll get the picture.
We know he's been absolutely devoted to trying to acquire nuclear weapons, and we believe he has, in fact, reconstituted nuclear weapons.
Was that true or not?
So we were saying...
Was that true?
We were saying...
Can you answer that question?
No,
was that true?
That's not true.
They gave a false presentation of what you said to them.
On some aspects.
He had a nuclear weapon.
I'm telling you
That's a big deal.
Chris, I'm telling you what
you
we said.
You agree? It's a big deal. They claimed they had a weapon when you know they didn't.
It's a big
no
deal.
evidence. I'd say it's a big deal. It's the reason a lot of reasonable people in the middle went with that war at the end. They said, you know what? If he's got nuclear weapons, we got to fight. But if they hadn't said that, a lot of the people in the middle would not have said that.
You know, of all the misrepresentations...
That, I think, was the most great.
Yeah, of all the misrepresentations that came out of the Bush administration leading up to the war in Iraq, about 90% of them, this is sort of a rough estimation, came from Dick Cheney, including that one. But again and again and again, and he's been proven wrong. He's low in the polls. I mean, I tell you, the guy who has to be worried about this the most is Jeb Bush.
Yes.
This is every time Dick Cheney pops up of the Jack in the Box and the Count Chocula suit, anytime he pops up, Jeb Bush is going to say, oh no. And it's also good for Rand Paul. Rand Paul and Dick Cheney are the big foils here in the battle for the heart and soul of the Republican Party and foreign policy. Rand Paul is doing cartwheels about this news today.
It's like you're trying to win a Nats game, and one of the big heads running around the warning track is Dick Cheney. You can't watch the game anymore because there's Dick Cheney running around with George Washington. On Friday, Senator Rand Paul told me the rank-and-file Republican voter is not as hawkish as Dick Cheney and the others would like you to believe. Let's watch Rand, as your point is made here.
There is a good chunk of the Republican Party who thinks that we should think before we act, that war is not always the answer, that war may be the last resort, not the first resort, that we have to defend ourselves, we have to have a strong national defense, but that sometimes we've intervened in the Middle East, and sometimes we've had unintended consequences.
There's big money driving the Republican Party to the hawkish side. These big godfathers of candidates who just come in there and say, I'll give you $200 million, but talk the line.
Big money drives both parties. Big money's in control of both parties. And I have one.
To the hawkish position.
Well, yeah, I mean, just big money in general for a variety of positions.
Well, I was trying to shoehorn him into that one, but he finally got there, you know, because you got Sheldon, who was a total hawk, and you had this guy Bremen behind Marco Rubio. They do have their, and then you had this guy Foster Friess. I don't know what his sales pitch is, but they do come with an agenda, all these guys with money.
But you don't even need that with the Republican Party. I mean, they have the neocons for years who have influence within the party, not because of money. Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld came out of sort of a corporate backing, and they care about strategic interest and oil and other things. So even without the big money individual billionaires like Sheldon Adelson, the party is still to the right on hawkish issues, and I think Rand Paul's wrong. I think the grassroots are far more hawkish than he thinks they are.
Well, but that's what's so interesting about the Republican Party.
No, I don't think so, because Rand
believe,
Paul's tying Hillary lately in Pennsylvania.
I think there's a, I don't know if it's a silent majority or it's kind of a quiet plurality, maybe, or something in the Republican Party. But there's a big chunk of the Republican Party that is really kind of cautious, and there is a sort of isolationist.
I think that's
we got a new poll. I got to give this you. We got a new poll out today. It shows, number one, that people don't like the way Obama's handling the war against ISIS, because there isn't really a war against ISIS. Do you want more troops? No.
Yeah.
So that's the conundrum. The Republicans don't want to fight another land war like W led us into, but yet they want toughness. That's their problem. Maybe you're right in that.
Supposedly.
Kill them when he has no plan.
You need to strike a balance.
How many troops?
Yeah.
How
That's
many
the
troops
one.
are you going to
That
send?
cuts them
Lindsey
short.
Graham is the only one who answers that question.
And that's when they just go, and then they go back to their.
Yeah,
I think
Obama.
you're wrong about the big hawks. I think they like the talk of hawks.